Good evening. I usually don't begin a chilporeal like this, but with what just happened 2 weeks ago with Charlie Kirk and all that, I just want to say, I mean, I look at this and I see a fellow YouTuber, fellow content creator. I mean, he was a political commentator and he was a great debater who went to college campuses to have a dialogue with students, especially students that did not agree with the positions. And unfortunately, with this climate that we have right now, where every institution labels one particular side of the political aisle of this and of that, especially equating to the bad guys during the Second World War. And because of that, it has, well, is warped the brains of a lot of younger people now. Violence is the last thing anybody should ever fucking do when it comes to dealing with a conflict. Why Charlie Kirk did what he did was to prevent that. He said it himself. If once people stop talking, that's where the violence begins. So it's never a good idea. What we want to do, what everyone should be doing, is fighting ideas with better ideas, not putting bullets in somebody's neck to the point where his wife is crying over his casket and his kids are running to him scared because of the blood, because of the shots and all that. It's not acceptable. Anybody that praises it, you got to ban them. You want nothing to do with them, and you got to report them. It can't be any other way. That's unacceptable behavior. What happened 2 weeks ago is worse than anything I think has ever happened before when it comes to assassinations. I've heard it from my parents. I'm sure Nerdy Neil here has heard it from his. We always heard about the JFK assassination, how it affected people. This is worse because we actually saw the bullet go into him. We saw the assassination happen in real time. And I would not recommend watching it. So please, whatever happens, stay vigilant, stay safe. And once again, if you see people doing it, if you see people mocking it, if you see people celebrating it, report it. All right, thank you. That's my spiel. Rest in peace. And let's bring in Nerdy Neo. What's up, Nerdy Neo?
Good evening. Yeah, it's not used to coming in on a show on such a downer, but yeah, it's sad what's happening and everything that's happened since. It's just been crazy. There's so many psychotic, evil, demented, demonic people out there that are just praising, assassination of this guy just because he had ideas they disagreed with. And yeah, it's sad, and he's younger than both of us, so it's really.
Really he's younger. He's younger than my younger brother. My younger brother's, there's a good age gap between the two of us, and he's even younger than him. So I mean, I was on X the day it happened, and I see this random tweet from the vice president saying, "Please pray for Charlie Kirk and for his family." And all of a sudden, one of the people in my text group shared this this link to an X account, this X post, and I saw the close up of him getting hit in the neck, and I was like, for a second, I was like, is this real? And then yes, it was real, and then I got horrified, and yeah, I was just horrified, and then I watched it again, and I started crying, and I was trying really hard to conceal it because I was at work, so it was something that I've never seen. I've always been I've always been lucky. I've always been spared watching someone pass away. I didn't see my pet passed away when I was living away, and my dad passed away when I was living away. So they passed away when I wasn't present when they died. When they physically died. This is the first time I've seen something like this happen. So, and this is just I felt this was a great time to talk about it. So sorry, I chose your, yeah, I know RNG, our buddy RNG was like, what are you talking about with him and not me?
It's like,
I'll definitely talk about it with him. We were chatting about it on X and on Discord. So
yeah, it's like, he's definitely, not that I'm not politically opinionated, just I typically don't talk about politics that much on, YouTube and stuff, but I'm happy to. It's just not something I do on my channel.
Yeah, I mean, you and I've been connected for a pretty long time. I mean, you were I think you were on with me when I first showed my face.
I mean,
I think you showed your face for the first time too, as well, on live.
The first time I ever showed my face on YouTube was on your monetization stream.
Yeah. So you and I connected. I think it was I think it was Ryan Kinnell's stream. I think you were talking about Metroidvania in chat, and I think I talked, and then that's how we started. That's how we connected. And I started talking to you, and then you started talking to me, and then we started. I think you started popping up on my channel. I told you, yeah, I
because you were playing a lot of Metroid games at the time.
I think I was playing AM2R at the time. I was,
yes.
Yeah,
I think that was the first thing I saw you stream.
This was before Chillporiel. This was even before Trekporiel. I used to have a show called Trekporiel where I would talk Star Trek. But then, we have a certain guy in the chat who I was supposed to talk a few episodes of Star Trek with because I managed to bully him into watching it, but he hurt himself. He was trying to free solo, and he fell and he hurt himself in Japan. And I think you might know him. I think you might know him, but. But
do I know someone in Japan? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't really exist. Maybe this guy doesn't really exist. But the thing was, I also wanted to talk Nintendo stuff with him, and so I was like, I don't want to just call it Trekporiel, and that's where Chillporiel came from. So, yeah. So that's kind of where, yeah. And then, of course, I think shortly afterwards, you started your channel, and yeah.
A little bit later, but yeah, it was because I'm a little over 2 years now. The summer was 2 years, so
2 years. Wow.
I know it's gone by fast.
I think it's been 2 years since I started Chillporiel. So yeah. So we got all right, so so who we got? We got Flame Mage here. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Flame Mage? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope
and yes, that person in that group, the one that shared that X account. Thanks, Salty. I got traumatized forever.
Yeah, and I have intentionally not watched the close-up video, so I have not seen it myself, and I don't plan to.
Do not. It's
just so different than how it is in movies.
You just see the life go out of him. He gets hit in the neck. He's like this, and then he falls, and then everybody's reacting. It's god awful. It's awful. So, and I just, yeah. And then some of our mutual friend who may or may not live in Japan kind of was calling out Grums. This guy named Grums. He was calling out Grums.
Know his name,
and Grums responds to him. So two of our buddies have been responded to by bigger accounts. My buddy, Kyle Dread Roberts got responded to earlier by Razor Fist, and our buddy AC in the chat was responded to by Grums, and then he got completely toppled with all of Grums's acolytes. I'll call them acolytes because they're or
That makes
bots,
sense.
acolytes or something. And they're saying, oh, he was not taking the Charlie Kirk thing seriously, and that's where because I was like going through the list, and I had to respond to those that said that to say no, that's not what he's saying. That's not who he is. Just I'm trying to. So it's like I don't know. I don't like to see people's character get assassinated by people trying to fill in the blanks because of something that was said that happens to me, that used to happen to me all the time. I was on the receiving end of that type of shit, and I don't fucking like it. So, and if I can
Makes
help in
sense.
some way, I can. So, yeah.
So yeah, it looks like Canadian and I are in the same boat. It's like he refuses to watch it, and I do too.
Do not. Yeah, I told him not to. It's awful. I mean, I watched it again just to see how I would react to it. I just started crying. So yeah, it's not worth it. But one thing that I do want to say, have you? I don't know. Have you played any of those Sucker Punch games? I don't know how many other devs did it, but the ones that really came out to the forefront was the Sucker Punch developers. You know, the ones that make the ones that
I
are
was going
doing
to say
Ghost of Yotei.
Sucker Punch is Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah.
I have
you played that one?
I played about 20 hours of it. I am going to play through it in its entirety. I just haven't gotten back to it. But I think that's the only Sucker Punch game I played because Sucker Punch is a Sony first-party studio, I believe, and I've never owned a PlayStation. So
I will not support that game. I
Yotei?
mean, I saw the tweet. I don't know if you're familiar with the channel Metatron.
I know of the
he
name, but I've
reacted.
never seen it, so I don't know what they or he or I don't even know if it's one person. Okay, it's one person.
One person. He's Sicilian. He's got that accent. He's got long hair. He's a
Oh,
history guy.
Sicilian.
He usually reacts to like Joe Rogan stuff. He basically he's usually middle. He's usually center when it comes to his politics. But with what just happened to Charlie Kirk, he's been going like full like scorched earth on people praising it.
Okay, I was going to say, which direction did he go scorched earth?
Oh, he went the right direction. If you know what I mean. Oh, actually, no, that's
the right direction and the right direction.
Yeah, so like he's going scorched earth on Destiny and on Hassan and
they are such pieces of trash.
Yeah,
and the crap that they get away with is insane. It's like if anybody on the other side of the aisle said the things that they did, they would be banned. They'd be
banned permanently.
Yeah.
And then not only that, people on this side would also be, calling them out, admonishing them and everything. It's whereas that side, they're in lockstep no matter what. If you know what I mean, like they're literally I'm gonna sound.
I think I know where you're going with this,
They're
and
the party of a particular. They're the party of the fairer sex. I'll say, if you know what I mean. They're always in lockstep with each other.
Okay,
you know how men will disagree with each other on stuff. Women together will not. But they'll talk shit. They'll talk shit.
I was going to say, I think I know where you're going with it. I might have made the same analogy before, but you went a little bit different direction than I was thinking. But I have made a similar analogy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's because of that behavior. It's because of the fact that they're not willing to take ownership. They're not willing to condemn. That's the reason why I am the way I'm voting. I am the way I am right now when it comes to where I'm at politically. I think they're trash, and I really think that there needs to be an overhaul of that particular party. Like I said, all they do is fearmonger and hate monger, and I've noticed this since 2016. Ever since Trump was supposed to come to UIC, my college. Wow, I mean, I was already graduated for like 7 years at that point, but he was supposed to come to my college to have a rally, and there was massive protests. People were getting violent. People were harassing others, and then there was a group that was counter protest the protesters. It got it got to the point where Trump himself's like, okay, I don't want people to get hurt. I'm going to cancel it. And then as a result of that, and I remember the
And then the
fallout.
left gets their way because of it.
Yeah, and not only that, they were blaming him for the violence. They were blaming Trump for the violence. Everyone on the left, Sanders, Clinton, all the other Democratic, candidates, but it wasn't just them. See, we put the left on blast. It was also people on the right. It was his opponents on the Republican side. Freaking Kasich, fucking Kasich, fucking I hate to say it, but Rubio and Cruz were blaming him too. I mean, he didn't. I mean, it's absurd to think that it's his fault that people are being violent over this.
Yeah,
he had nothing to do with it. I mean, he canceled. He in good conscience canceled the event. So yeah. I hate to say it, but the right, the Republicans are partially responsible for this, partially responsible for what's going on now. Ever since back then. I mean, they had to get get behind him eventually, but they helped foment this.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the Ghost Yote thing. They did Mario and Luigi. They did like a Mario and Luigi thing because the Luigi was they were
Luigi Mangione
or something. And is this guy's name Mario or something because they're awesome or something, and
so that Luigi knows he's got his back or something like that.
Yeah, and it was just like tasteless. And then it's just like it's acceptable to say bad things about people on the right because you're told to, because every institution has to say that it's Nazi rhetoric, literally.
Yeah, I bet like 95%, if not more, of all these people that are just saying the most evil, vile, disgusting crap about Charlie Kirk have never watched like a single second of, except for maybe like a 10-second clip that was taken out of context.
Yeah, that's all they do. That's all they do is they say, oh, he was against this, he was against that, but you don't watch the whole thing. You don't know why he's talking about. You don't know what they're talking about, what the context is, what the concept is that they're talking about. I've watched some of these dates. I first saw Charlie Kirk years ago. This was like shortly after Trump got elected. I was still a Democrat at the time. And like he was, I mean, like he totally he debated some random guy and he destroyed the other guy. And initially I was like, who's this guy think he is? And then I watched him more. He's like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then he actually put some food for thought. He actually brought up some really good points. And so he eventually, I mean, because of him and I mean, it wasn't even really because of him. It was, what really got me it was the behavior. I was paying attention to the behavior. There were so many things going on in between all that time. I mean, during Obama, you had the whole Trayvon Martin thing where he said something stupid. And then you had all these other instances that the media puts everybody on blast because a person of a particular color gets, it ends up dying at the hands of police. Because they don't,
they have to make it fit their narrative.
Yeah. So they make a big deal about this, and then all of a sudden that's where Black Lives Matter came from. That's where all these organizations came from, and then I'm seeing this, and they're lying about things. They're lying about people. That's something I was on the receiving end of. People always, people get mischaracterized, misrepresented all the time. I was in that thing. So that was something that hit me hard. I started paying more attention to behavior than to what people were saying. But even what people were saying was wrong too. So it got to a point where I just lost trust, and I had to start, being more objective and looking at the other side. And well, here we are. And this whole thing, I mean, I was worried something like this would happen. That's why I couldn't be on the side of people who were willing to be violent, and it looks like I was right, unfortunately. So
Yeah, they're all about inclusivity and accepting, but if you even
but they're not.
if you slightly challenge even the lightest of their ideas, they're excommunicated and you're the evil, and they're fine with you being, they're fine with you dying. It's like, wow, that's really
they
accepting
remind
of you.
me. I know you haven't watched Babylon 5, which is
I
basically
was gonna
Mass
bring that up
Effect is.
because last
They're
time we talked, I said after I'm finished with Stargate, I'm almost done with Stargate. I'm about I have maybe like 7 or 8 episodes left, and when I finish Stargate, I'm starting Babylon 5.
So there are two. I mean, there's two ancient. There's two ancient civilizations. One is perceived to be the good guys. One are perceived to be the bad guys. What we find out about them is that one side is, well, they're bad. They sow chaos and all that. The other side is another type of bad. The type of bad that I would equate to leftism, in a way. They destroy. They want to destroy evil, but in doing so, they become the evil. If you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean.
And so there's a race that kind of falls into that category in the first 6 episodes of season 4, which concludes that massive interstellar conflict and all that.
Okay.
It builds up to a war. Babylon 5 builds up to a massive war between, between this ancient civilization that's been around for years, that's been sowing chaos for thousands of years. They're not quite like the Reapers, but you could see, once you see the ships in Babylon 5, you're gonna be like, okay, they're not quite Reapers, but they're pretty menacing, and they're ancient, and they do this cyclically, with younger.
I remember that's why you recommended Babylon 5 to me last time, is because of my love for Mass Effect.
Yeah, but I mean, Babylon 5 is like the Citadel in a way, in Mass Effect. So, in a way, I mean, it's not this ancient weapon that 3 became. I mean, Babylon 5 is just a space station. O'Neill cylinder that's featured in. If you ever watch Gundam, or you're familiar with Mobile Suit Gundam at all, same idea.
I know of Gundam, but I know the O'Neill cylinder because that's basically what the game Vanquish takes place in.
Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely correct about that. He's absolutely correct. It's not just one side of the political aisle. I mean, it happened to Dread Roberts. So, never really happened to me from that side. But I mean, I've been dogpiled by Star Trek fans who loved Picard and worshipped fucking Dave Blass, the freaking production designer of season 3 of Picard.
But didn't you hear that season 3 was good?
Oh yeah, I heard that too. That's why I watched it. And I watched it with Profit. And we're like, the show sucks. And I'm a Star Trek fan. I watched it. There was a few good moments in episode 5 and in probably the finale, because of Data comes back in a way. And another character comes back who we were like, whatever happened to her? She just vanished after TNG, and she never showed up in DS9 or anything. Other than that, like, the show was it was better. It was better than the other. That doesn't say a lot. Yeah, you're
being the
right.
tallest midget,
like
the smartest retard.
I'll tell you, they were on a space station, and they literally play. Riker literally plays a song that he whistled from the first episode of TNG years ago. You know what happens when he whistles that tune? A door opens up, and I was surprised I didn't hear the Zelda jingle, and that's where they find their treasure. I'm not joking. Like, Terry Metalis is a Nintendo fan, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised he put that in because of but whatever. But but you know what I mean. It's, how did we even get to this? So
I goaded you into it.
But yeah,
obviously I haven't seen it. I'm just going off of what I've heard, that it was season 3 was good, which
it was. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you follow Critical Drinker and Neurotic and all those guys, and take if you believe everything they say, then you're going to agree with them. It's weird This is a weird phenomenon. It's a weird phenomenon because I kind of broke free of that and watched it myself. But then again, I had other friends that maybe probably poisoned my mind. At least Prophet says he thought that when I was reacting to it as well. So that's why he kept his mouth shut when we actually were reacting to it live. But he wasn't wrong. When it comes to
logical
breaking stuff
fallacy
down,
called poisoning the well.
yeah. So, but he wasn't wrong. Other people that I've done Star Trek stuff with did not like it either. So, but yeah, this type of behavior, I mean, and I see it. I saw it in the game Timespinner. If you want to get into Timespinner now.
All right.
So you played it. I kind of bullied you into playing it. It's a Metroidvania, and it's basically cut from the cloth of Symphony of the Night and other Castlevanias, I think, isn't it?
Go ahead. What were you?
No. I was gonna say what other Castlevanias, and that was
okay. So I wouldn't say you bullied me into it because I was going to be playing it eventually anyways, because my goal is to play every Metroidvania on Xbox, and I own most of them. But you just bumped it way up the list because I don't know when I was going to get around to playing it. I will play it eventually, but since you're like, hey, I've played this before and I'm going to play it again. Why don't you play it and then we'll talk about it? It's like, all right, so I bumped it up the list and I played it, finished it probably about 2 weeks ago now. But yeah, it was gameplay wise, it was pretty good. I enjoyed the gameplay wise. Most games along these lines, I would typically just kind of speed through the dialogue and not really pay attention to the story much. But because that's the part I would say you bullied me is because we're going to actually be talking about this. I'm going to read every line of dialogue, and I kind of wish that I hadn't.
I took the easy way out. I just beat it and got the evil ending because I just didn't want to play it again. I wasn't planning on playing it. I played it back in 2019 or 2018 on the PS4 initially. And I liked it at first. But then you know how the game rewards you? The game rewards you by literally pulling off tokenism.
Well, it depends.
Your character for no reason tries to matchmake two dudes to start a romantic relationship. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was just like, what is this? I'm like, where did this come from?
That also depends on how you play it, because in order to get that ending, which I would say is the true ending, you have to complete every side quest in the game.
I don't think that was an ending. That was like a reward for like a fetch quest or something. I think.
In my opinion, like the good ending, even though it is not actually an ending at the end of the game, you get that by completing all the side quests, which there's not that many. There's like 5 main character, or not the playable character, but the like supporting cast. There's like 4 or 5 characters, and they each have like 3 to 5 quests. So there's like 15 or 20 quests throughout the game. Once you complete them all, the reward is you guys basically like have a little chat around a campfire, and that got really weird. But yeah, one of the quests was, as you mentioned, it was matchmaking 2 guys, but there is no way in hell you're ever going to convince me that that person was a guy. That was clearly a woman, and nothing you can say or do will convince me otherwise. Even though they use the he, him pronouns in the game, I refuse to believe it.
I don't even remember who the characters were because I didn't even bother with that.
I don't remember any of their names, but I remember what they look like. And there was only one character that actually looked masculine. He actually had a beard, and he was...
was he the one in the cast? Was he the one that was injured? And
he's the one that had the bandages around his head most of the game.
Yeah,
he wasn't the one in the bed though. That was another person.
Okay.
At least I'm pretty sure those were 2 separate characters. But yeah, I have no idea what their names were.
I don't remember either.
But yeah, he ended up being kind of a pansy, and because all except for him, in my opinion, all the other characters were strong, independent females that don't need no man. One of them was this giant butch lady.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right.
She and him used to be a couple, and then the ones that you were setting up, apparently him and the other character used to be together. So it's this kind of like weird, like not incest, but like this weird group that they all used to like
Incest is
sleep
brother and
together.
sister.
So it was just really weird. It's like, where did this come from, and why is it in this game? The gameplay was good. I enjoyed the gameplay, but the story, it's like,
I mean, what did you think? Okay, let's go.
and I did it
let's
twice
talk about some of
because
the.
went for the full completion, and I had to do a normal playthrough and a hard playthrough. So I got all the achievements, and I finished it on the 8th. So it's been about 2 weeks since I finished it.
Yeah, and I kind of just, I kind of cut corners and just beat it yesterday.
I'm glad that you were able to make it through it and finish it, because
I did not. I did. I mean, I mean, technically, I didn't. Like, I think there was a whole area I didn't even bother exploring. So, but yeah, I couldn't. Like she starts off really virtuous, but then there's this one toxic dude that just for no reason is jealous of her, and she's like, you're just a jerk to me. And I'm like, well, maybe you should try to understand why he feels that way and try to reconcile. Something that this stupid character does not know how to do is reconcile. Like,
I forgot about that. You just mentioned it.
I hate you. I do the evil ending where I'm fighting, which is so stupid. Like, oh, Emperor Nuvius is her father. I'm like, come on, what is this? Final Fantasy Star Wars 4 or something? I like Final Fantasy 4 though. I know you've never heard of it because you hate Final Fantasy and JRPGs and good games.
I am open to trying Final Fantasy 7 remake since it's not a turn-based game, but it's not very high on my priority list.
Final Fantasy 4 has got a lot of, it's a fantasy, but it's got it borrows a lot from Star Wars. Like, there's the villain is kind of like Darth Vader wears armor. He's like a sorcerer and he's evil. But he's not quite evil. He's being controlled by an even more evil person. So, and then, we find out that this Darth Vader like character is related to the main character. So yeah, there we go.
I forgot until you mentioned it, but the game starts.
But yeah, Emperor Nuvius is basically her father. I'm like,
well, getting ahead of things, because right there, the opening cutscene, there's this guy who's just being a complete and total jackass to you, and it's like, oh well, I see where this is going. Woman, and she's being attacked by a white guy just because white guys are bad. I'm like,
and she's like, you're just a jerk to me, and then he just gets mad and kicks her cake and all that. I was like, oh, come on, really? And I looked at who made the game. The person that made the game is located in just like Sucker Punch. They're located in Lunar Games, I think is what the name is.
Lunar Ray Games.
They're in Washington, if I remember correctly. So yeah, and so the whole, when you get into the later part of the game, especially if you play the evil ending, there's no usually a good guy, a protagonist character that you play wants wants reconciliation or doesn't want to fight, usually doesn't want to fight the villain. They only fight because they have to. This character is just on a rampage. It's just on a revenge. Has a revenge fantasy. And thinks she's justified. And why don't you join me? I hate you. Like, well, I don't want to play that. I don't like. I mean, that's.
Yeah, they didn't.
I don't like characters
why the bad guys are bad
guys.
They just tell you they're bad and expect you to go along with it.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
And I did that.
Well,
looked it up and it looks like they're based in Seattle.
Yeah, so that explains a lot of it. So just like I think Sucker Punch. You know who else is located in Washington?
Microsoft
of America.
Oh, I didn't know Nintendo was up there as well.
Yep. Fortunately, Retro Studios is in Texas.
Oh, I think I did know that.
But they're in the Austin area. So yeah. So there's a reason why the gaming industry is captured by
step forwards, one step back
by this side. Well, it's actually my right, but to you guys it's left, if you know what I mean. So
yeah. Yeah,
but yeah, like they borrowed some Final Fantasy VII stuff. Like there's an evil scientist who reminds me of Hojo from Final Fantasy VII, who basically takes people and turns them into mutants, or uses questionable uses
ethics.
questionable methods, ethics, when it comes to science and all that, and just experiments on people, turns them into mutants or something, and to the point where they have to live as these horrific things forever, and they lose their capacity to think, and they end up they become animalistic, and then they fight you basically. So that happened. I was like, okay. So to me, this Timespinner game, I mean, the mechanic with the orbs, I think, was okay. What'd you think of the orbs? You equip like 2 orbs, and each orb like is either an element, or it becomes like an axe or a sword, and then you can level up that orb. You can either
Yeah, like I said, the
and
gameplay was
you do
good.
like a kamehameha. Like there's a special kamehameha, and I keep forgetting to do it. I just keep button mashing, like the Y button, or the wherever the Y button is on the
On Xbox, X is
it is the
your
Y
light
button. It is the
attack.
Y button.
On B was your magic attack, which I barely ever use that throughout the entire game, despite you having a bunch of different magics. You never really need it. But yeah, gameplay wise, it's a pretty fun game gameplay wise. But yeah, as
How
Canadian said, it sounds
often?
terrible on the writing. The writing is not good.
And then there was a few mechanics that I felt like were I
Way
felt were
underutilized.
underutilized, like the time freezing.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
I used the time freezing because I needed to get to higher platforms, because I didn't have the double jump yet. So
Yep.
there'd be a point where there'd be this flying enemy, and you can use that flying enemy when you freeze time as a platform. So you jump on that enemy, and then you jump to across a far gap span and all that. So
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is because not only is there time travel where you can go between the past and the present, or the past and the future, whatever you want to call it.
it's
But
basically the light world and the dark world from like Link to the Past in a way, even though it's, like you said, it's time travel. But
yeah, I guess you could. That's fair enough. But you can also pause time. Yeah, that with the Y button on Xbox, that is. You pause time for, you can expand how long you can pause time, but it was so underutilized. You use it for exactly what you're talking about, to make platforms out of enemies, to reach a gap you can't normally jump across, like 2 or 3 times in the entire game. That's literally all you ever need to use pause time for. It was so underutilized. Like, why even put it in if you're not going to actually use this as a core mechanic of the gameplay?
Exactly. So I mean, the first time I used that mechanic was because you go into a room in the castle, in the or the library, in the future library, and the platform that you're on basically disintegrates. So in order for you to get across it in time, remember in Super Metroid, you use the running to get past those
which
those
I didn't know until you pointed it out on that stream.
Yeah,
I'm like, how are you supposed to do this?
That's because I
and you're
played
like,
that
you
game.
have to push the run button. I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, that's because I played that game a billion times, and Super Metroid is just the best Metroid ever.
It's good.
Yeah, better than Dread. I know you disagree.
I don't know. I've never ranked Dread versus Super Metroid. That's a tough one. I don't know which one I like better.
Well, you told me. You said you like Dread, so I'm designating. I'm like a true Chicago Democrat. I'm still a registered Democrat. I designate you my enemy, and I say you like Dread more, and so that I can be mean to you.
Okay, fair enough. I will bear the mantle of being a
person,
Super Metroid hater, and Dread is the best Metroid, even though it's not the best Metroid. I will take on that mantle for you.
Yeah. Did I say hello to Mike, Pacific 414?
What's up, Pacific 414?
How you doing?
And I saw Carl. What's up, Carl? Brian got his pirate hat on.
Coral. I DNF'd Walking Dead, by the way.
I've only seen the pilot episode, so
Pilot episode wasn't bad, but I guess he didn't like it because I guess you didn't like it because you didn't watch the rest of season 1. Season 1 wasn't bad. Season 2
I may
took
watch
place
it
on a
eventually.
farm,
I was
and
watching
then
it because of my roommate, and I wasn't like totally into it just because it's like I'm not against zombie stuff, but I just typically in general spooky stuff. I'm not, I'm not all about the scary stuff. So I would watch it though if I had a good reason to.
Yeah, I did it again. I derailed the stream to bring up Walking Dead because I said Coral. So,
says, I'll carry that mantle with you, Neo. Just so know. Yes, I got Canadian on my side again. We're usually not on the same side of things, but in this case, we are.
Well, yeah. Well, what's funny is me and him are more in line when it comes to Prime 4. So that's where the similarity is going to end.
We'll get to that,
but we'll get Prime 4 will be the last thing we talk about. Actually, maybe there's not really much more to talk about Timespinner. I mean,
before we get off the topic of Timespinner, because I didn't, so the orb mechanic, one thing I wanted to mention is because you got all these different orbs throughout the game that have all these different abilities.
Yeah.
If you do end up playing it, because the gameplay is serviceable, it's not a bad game gameplay wise. If you just skip all the dialogue, it's a much better game.
I know Steve loves
it has great music.
It has a really solid soundtrack. Like I was actually enjoying, listening to. I was actually enjoying playing it, listening to it. I think that's what kept me playing it in the first place.
It did have. I kind of credit this to Angry Canadian, becoming friends with him through YouTube friends. But I know you longer, but he was kind of my awakening, if for lack of a better term of attention to music, video game music.
Oh, of course. Oh yeah.
Because I always said, like, I never really paid much attention to video game music until I met Angry Canadian, you, DJ Access. You guys are big into video game music. So since then, I've made it more of a point to pay attention to video game music. And there was a lot of time where I had this Timespinner either like on pause or I was just sitting there because I was like responding to a text or I was on Discord or whatever on my iPad. So the game was just running. And I was like, this music is actually really good. So the music is great. The gameplay is really good, is pretty good.
Yeah.
Just skip the dialogue and you'll have a much better enjoyment of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the orbs, I didn't realize because I thought, because you have 2 orb slots, like your right and left, essentially. Yeah. What I didn't realize until like 80% of the way through the game is you can equip the same orb in both slots. I thought you had to find another of the same orb in order to equip it in both slots. So I was like, when am I going to find another of this same orb so I can dual equip it? And then I actually tried it. I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. You can equip, as long as you get the orb, you can equip it in both hands. So that would have come in. If I would have known that, would have made it a little bit easier. But once you get the plasma orb, with the exception of like one boss who's highly resistant to the plasma orb, you can just wreck everything with the plasma orb. Just dual wield it.
That's what I did.
It does run off your mana, whereas none of the other orbs run off your mana. But I never used my mana for my spells ever, so it didn't really matter. So I just maxed out my mana.
I kept forgetting that you could do the Kame.
I didn't forget. I just never needed to. Another underutilized aspect of the game.
Because maybe it's just because I'm getting old and you can't teach an old Nerporial new tricks. But like I just like to button mash. It's something I just grew up doing. It's a bad habit, but maybe it's not a bad habit.
Depends on the game.
But I like to keep button mashing and just like annihilating my enemy. It makes me feel powerful.
Yeah. So you have spells that you don't ever need to use, and they have a bit of a cast time. So when you're in the middle of combat, it doesn't really typically make a whole lot of sense to cast. So the plasma orb runs off of that mana, whereas none of the other orbs run off that mana. But if you equip because you have different slots for equipment for armor and stuff, and you have a couple of different slots for like a couple rings and amulets that give you stat boosts. So if you just equip faster mana regen and a larger mana pool, you just wreck everything with the plasma orbs. You just have to be aware of there's an enemy, because there are a couple of enemies throughout the game that will cause a debuff on you. Like there's one that there's a couple different debuffs. There's like
chaos.
Chaos, and there's like 3 of them.
Chaos didn't do anything to me. It just, I get this little purple thing that says Chaos above me. I didn't notice anything. I didn't notice anything change. Like,
and that's the thing is, like we said, the time stop mechanic. You have an hourglass, and it drains when you're using it.
Yeah.
But you never really need to use it in the game. So the Chaos drains your time stop ability. But since you never really use it, you never really notice it. It doesn't make that much of a difference. There's 2 other status effects, and I don't remember what one of them is called, but I think one slowly drains your health.
Yeah.
And you need an antidote, which you typically find a lot of them. And then the other one is neurotoxin. And if you're using the plasma orbs, that's one you have to be aware of, because that one drains your mana. So you want to take, there's a special type of antidote to cure the neurotoxin. I forget what it's called. But as soon as you get hit with neurotoxin, you want to use the antidote for the neurotoxin so that your mana doesn't drain.
Yep, I've had to. It's probably antidote. It's probably just antidote.
The antidote was for the poison that drains your health. There was a separate consumable that is specifically a neurotoxin. And that's another thing, is that you can only hold 9 in a stack. And you can only hold 1 stack of it. So like antidote, even though I collected like 40 of them, I still only had 9. So you can't, if you collect more of them, it doesn't keep increasing. So,
should I make this a t-shirt? Should I make this a t-shirt right here? Can't teach an old Nerporial about new games. Can't teach an old Nerporial new games.
If the shoe fits.
I was thinking gloves, because
the glove
90s, Sorry, no, that was bad.
Which glove are we talking about in the 90s? Are we talking?
We're talking about the glove. We're talking about the glove. We're talking. The glove that they looked for. That there's a hotel not too far from me, right off of Cumberland, off of the 90. There's a hotel there, and there used to be a little foresty area right there, and people, the police actually looked for the knife over there, because that's where he was. He went to that hotel right after he allegedly did the deed. So.
I don't know any of the details. I mean, I remember it happening, but I was in elementary.
That's the first time that's what I learned what a murder was. I learned about murder from that case, because I was 9. I was 9 when that happened, and that was all over the TV.
That's all I knew OJ from was the case, and then later on, many years later, I found out he played football. I'm like, what? Then I was really blown away when I watched Naked Gun and saw him, and I'm like, what the crap is this?
He was in the Towering Inferno in the 70s. He was in the Naked Gun in the 80s and 90s. He was in the Naked Gun right before 3, before he did the deed. And then I like the joke that they made in the new movie
trailer, and I thought that was hilarious.
I thought that character was going to have a bigger role. No, that scene was just for that. That was the only scene that character, his son, was in. He looked. They're all mourning the original characters, and then we see him mourning OJ, and he looks at the camera, was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do it." That movie was actually funny. I think, Liam Neeson can channel Leslie Nielsen in his own weird way, his own weird taken way, if you know what I mean.
Because I may be a little bit behind the times on this, but Leslie Nielsen's still around, right?
Leslie Nielsen, no, he's been gone for like 15 years.
Oh, really? I thought he was still around.
I mean, he'd be 100 years old now. He'd be 100 years old now.
Was he? I thought he was still.
No.
Okay.
One of the last movies he did was like Scary Movie 3 or Scary Movie 4 or something, long time ago. But yeah, so Timespinner, I forget, what'd you say?
2010. He's been gone 15 years. He would be. He would die at 84, so he would be almost 100 if he was still alive.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
You want to hear a fun thing? He played the archetypal Starfleet captain before Star Trek was a thing. He was in a movie called Forbidden Planet, and he plays the captain of the ship that that goes to Altair 4. Goes to Altair 4 and finds, goes to a planet, finds characters that don't want him there, and then shit hits the fan, and they have to solve the issue of why this character's on the planet, or why this human character's on the planet, and all that, which is the basis for quite a few Star Trek episodes. But yeah, there you go. But yeah, he was in that, and he's been a whole bunch of things. He was originally supposed to be the Roman guy in Ben-Hur. I don't know if you've ever seen Ben-Hur, but he was originally
I've seen
supposed to be
bits
the
and
Roman
pieces
guy.
of it, not in its entirety.
Yeah, I think Stephen Boyd ultimately won the part of the Roman guy, of Charlton Heston's like friend / enemy. Eventually, Leslie Nielsen was up for that part, and there's outtakes. I remember seeing outtakes of Leslie Nielsen doing it. So yeah,
did not know that, but
yeah, Leslie Nielsen was the original Starfleet captain before Captain Kirk, in my opinion. So
nice.
There you go.
Carl saying that O.J. Simpson was the inspiration for Glover. Timelines check out. Glover came out in '98, and that was after the trial.
What's Glover?
It was a 3D platformer back on the N64. I don't know if it was on PS1, but I always wanted to play it. I never got around to playing it. It has been ported to modern consoles. I know it was popular, but I don't know if it was any good or not.
All right, I've never played that.
It has a retro achievement set.
Interesting.
There's your mention for retro achievements. Angry Canadian, because he likes to keep count.
Oh yeah. So I figure you want to talk Metroid Prime 4 now?
Okay. Let's see here. So let's see. Was there anything else that I want to mention about Timespinner?
Not
I don't
really.
think so. But just Metroid in general. I am. Oh, I was at the beginning.
Okay.
I was saying Metroid.
All right.
In general,
I'm going to read.
I'm
going to read this Angry Canadian thing. Are we going to have Geography 101 in the stream? Some people forget that deserts are supposed to have nothing in them. Nerdy Neo, do you care to respond to this?
I haven't actually even watched the trailer yet. I've seen people like break it down. I've seen screens from it. I haven't actually watched it in its entirety without someone breaking it down. So I haven't watched it nonstop. If you want, if you wanted to watch it in real time,
let's see if I can do that. Let's see, Metroid Prime 4. Let's share. All right.
So bright.
Well, I can't help you.
You're not have dark mode. It's so wrong.
You're so wrong. You're wrong. All right, but let's let me.
No, Carl, we have not started talking about Metroid yet, but we are now.
All right, let's. All right, wait. Do I have? Wait. Let me.
You share audio.
Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't.
How do you hate the bike if you haven't seen the trailer? I've seen plenty of screenshots and I've seen clips of it. And I don't hate the bike. I just don't like the bike is cool. It looks dope, but it just doesn't belong in a Metroid game.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah. So I've basically seen it in its entirety. I haven't watched it straight through. This reminds me of the pods.
It was like Matrix. A spin-off, to be honest.
No, your opinion is invalid until you watch the trailer. I've basically seen it in its entirety. I just haven't watched it all the way through without commentary.
Yeah.
Her suit is dope. The bike looks awesome. It looks like something right out of Tron.
Yeah.
But purple instead of blue. It just doesn't belong in a Metroid game.
What do you think of this heavy guitar?
Yeah, I hadn't actually heard the music. And I can't really hear it that well. It's almost like I'm hearing it through your microphone, not actually hearing the audio from the video itself.
Oh. I don't think it's bad, but I don't know if it belongs either.
I can't quite say very well since I'm not hearing it from the video itself. But yeah, a metal guitar riff also isn't fitting for a Metroid game.
Yeah.
It usually has a more ethereal ambiance to it.
I actually ordered the Silex. What do you call it?
Amiibo.
Amiibo. That's what they're called. Amiibos. That's what they're called. I got my first Amiibo in Japan, by the way.
Catching on when Canadian like, what WTF are you doing to live not even watching the trailer? It's been weeks. Like that. Like I said, I basically seen it in its entirety. I just hadn't watched it all without pausing, and yeah, I couldn't really hear it that well.
So I was listening
I'm still super excited. I'm going to be playing it, and I did confirm that despite that it's going to have Switch 1 and Switch 2 versions, and because I don't have a Switch 2, and I likely won't have a Switch 2 before the end of the year, but I plan to buy it on Switch 1 because it does have a $10 upgrade. So if I ever do upgrade to a Switch 2, I just pay the $10 to upgrade to the Switch 2 version.
Is that how that works? This whole Switch and Switch 2 thing has been confusing me since they announced it.
It's basically identical to a lot of games on Xbox, because Xbox is my platform. You could buy, you could get the game, the Xbox One, or you could buy the Xbox Series X version, or if you already had the Xbox One version, you could pay typically a $10 upgrade fee to upgrade to the Series X version. So basically identical to that.
Yeah. Okay.
So that way I don't have to worry about buying it on Switch 1 and then end up getting a Switch 2 sometime and then having to rebuy the whole, $70 or $80 game. I just pay the $10 to upgrade.
So did they so I'm taking it that they said that it's going to be on a single planet, Vuros or whatever it's called. Vuros or something. I don't really like the name personally. I think they could have come up with something more original. Okay. But that's just me.
Did they confirm that it's only on one planet?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they did. I think they did. So one thing that I was listening to a mutual buddy, or not buddy, but a mutual acquaintance of ours, Zeltroid.
I watched his video.
I was listening to his 30-minute video.
I watched that one yesterday.
And he brings up time travel based on, so I think time travel is going to be a thing in this game. I think you're going to be going from past to present on this planet, or maybe you go to a different planet or something. Maybe you start on this planet, like in the initial trailer. I think the beginning of the game when you're with the Federation forces and all that, and it's like almost like Halo Reach in a way. I think you get transported either to another planet or to another planet in another time or something. And that's what this Vuros might be. But the planet that you start in the beginning, I don't think is the same thing. I don't know.
He did make some sort of prediction that there's some sort of like teleporting, time traveling, and it may take you between planets or something.
Because I know Tanabe himself, Kensuke Tanabe, said that he wanted to put a time travel mechanic into Metroid. And he was talking about I want to do more stuff with the character Silex, obviously. So when Silex turns up at the very end of Federation Force, and then you see him in the Prime 4 trailer, I was not
Federation
surprised.
Force. What is that?
That was the game that after 5 years of no Metroid, 2015 E3, they announced for the 3DS a multiplayer game where you play as Federation forces, and
that's one of the biggest letdowns ever.
Yes, people were angry, so there's no Metroid game, and then we get this Federation Force game. We're like, what the hell? And
what is this crap? Samus isn't even in it. How dare you call yourself a Metroid game?
Yeah, and then this was 5 years after Other M.
Speaking of Other M,
by the way, Nerdy Neo loved Other M. He was happy playing that game. He not once got angry for 10 minutes straight because was it the Metroids were killing your ass?
No, that wasn't the main issue. But I was going to say at the beginning, but it was very, we started off on a very serious note. But I appreciated you made a very custom intro. I don't know if you do that for every Chilporial, but you made a very custom intro for me and called me Raging Nerdy Neo that loves Other M because on Metroid
it got to a point where I was getting I'm going on my late night walk trying to get a drink, and it felt like you were yelling at me in a way. I almost felt like you were yelling at me. You're just getting so angry. I felt like, okay, I have to help. I actually felt compelled to help you, try to beat the game, because you were just like, I'll be honest, that your rage made me remember those awful speed boost upgrades that you have to get in Dread in order to get 100%, and some of them were so hard.
Oh, some of the Spine Shark puzzles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there were some that were a pain.
So,
but to add a little context to it, so yeah, I've been playing on Metroidvania Monday. I just finished Other M on Monday a few days ago. And so I played it when it was relatively new, like within a year of it coming out, and I had not played it since. So this was the first time playing it in about 15 years. Basically the only thing I remembered about it going into this playthrough when I started it a couple weeks ago is that I thought overall I enjoyed the game mostly. The only thing I didn't like about it was the stupid mechanic that you have to point the Wiimote at the screen in order to shoot your missiles. That was really the only thing I remembered not liking about the game. So playing through it again over the last couple of weeks,
it would have made it much better if they would have allowed you to use the missiles without that mechanic. Like, the mechanic should have been optional, in my opinion.
Yeah, or just some way to shoot missiles without having to stop moving, go into first person, aim very awkwardly, lock on, and then fire your missiles, especially when you have to do this in the middle of some fights in a very short period of time. And the Wiimote, like, it can be very slow on the uptake.
Yeah.
So not a very well thought out mechanic.
So you were getting eaten like repeatedly by MB at the very end. How did you survive? Because I missed that. I missed you beating that part. I was like, oh, because you were dying and you were screaming like a.
So yeah, I after my first playthrough many years ago, I had a pretty positive mental image of it. Going into it this time was almost like a fresh playthrough. I literally remembered nothing about the game except for the missile mechanic.
Yeah.
Going through it again, I can't quite say I despise the game, but I really, really, really did not like it. Now I really understand why people hate it, which is a real disappointment because I am a huge fan of Team Ninja. When I heard Team Ninja was doing a Metroid game, I was stoked because Ninja Gaiden Black is in my top 5 games of all time. I love that game so much. So when I heard that they're doing a Metroid game, I could not wait. And then to see this was the result was such a disappointment. Not as much of a disappointment as the announcement of Federation Force when we're starting for New Metroid, but such a disappointment. I was saying it on my stream after I beat the game. There are, and very much like the original Metroid on NES, there are a bunch of little tweaks that would greatly improve the game a lot. So what I was saying on my stream is that I would give this game like a 5, but there was a bunch of little tweaks that could easily bump it up to a 7. Mm-hmm. But to answer your question, so most of my raging was not at like the game being difficult. It was just at like how horrible some of the design decisions were in this game and how obtuse some things were and how other things just seem to be like arbitrarily decided on. It's like, and nothing in this game made any sense at all. So that I didn't have an issue with the gameplay. Most of my raging was at the design decisions behind the game. And it just really
like you, I forget, you had to use the power bomb in the Queen Metroid. I forget, did you have to press a particular combination of buttons in order to do that?
Yes. So to answer your question of you dipped out while I was in the Queen Metroid fight, if I remember correctly.
For a little bit, yeah.
And I was ranting about this fight because first off, the cutscenes talk about exposition dumps. There's a bunch of cutscenes and they're all like 10 minutes long, and it's like a massive exposition dump. It's not like short stuff.
You're like, did Kojima make this game?
It's the Kojima Metroid, absolutely. And in all the cutscenes leading up to this boss fight, they're talking about how these Metroids were genetically bred to be impervious to their one weakness, which Metroids are well known to have their one weakness is cold. So you freeze them and then shatter them with like missiles and stuff. So they're talking about how these Metroids have that immunity. They've been genetically given an immunity to cold. So they're essentially invincible. And you go into this fight thinking that these Metroids are invincible. And you're so obviously there's no way to actually defeat them. And you're shooting at them and they're not taking damage. You try to shoot them with missiles, they're not taking damage, and it spawns 1, and then it spawns like 2, then it spawns 3 more. So it has 6 of them running around chasing you while you're trying to fight the boss. And you can defeat them, but the game makes you think that you can't. But you can't just shoot them. The only way to defeat them is you have to have a charge shot charged up, and you have to dodge one of their attacks. And when you dodge their attack, if you let go of your fire button, then it'll freeze them. And then once they're frozen, you have to go into first person mode and hit them with a bunch of missiles while there's like 5 other Metroids all trying to latch onto you. And the amount of time it takes to go into first person mode and then shoot a missile is like, it takes a couple seconds, like 3 or 4 seconds. You got all these other Metroids that latch on you in split seconds. It's like, who designed this garbage dogfight? You finally figure out how to defeat the Metroids. Basically, the only way to do it is you have to have them all. You have to wait until they all lunge at you all at once, so that one dodge, and then you freeze them all at once, and then you can take out a couple Metroids.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh that. So at that point,
I might have had a hard time the first time playing that.
You can take them out, and you just have to keep doing that over again.
Yeah.
Then you can focus on the boss.
So I have
a rant about the boss too.
So you had to actually charge it before you did the whole dodge mechanic.
Yes, because they're only vulnerable for like a split second after you dodge their attack, and when you first start out the game, the charge attack is really slow, but you do get a couple of charge upgrades that reduce the time. So that at the end of the game, I only had 2 charge upgrades. I don't know if there are more in the game because I only got like 35%.
Dude, you only had 35%. I was wondering why you were running out of missiles so fast. I was like, you barely
That's another
did
thing.
Anything.
Is the missile expansions only give you 1 missile, but that's because you can recharge your missiles at any time. You don't have to go and none of the enemies drop anything.
There's no
health drops.
Purple orbs. Yeah,
there's no orbs.
I didn't like.
Don't drop missiles.
I'll be honest. I didn't. That was one thing I didn't like about it. I didn't like the fact that you had to just depend on a save room in order to.
So you can recharge your health on your own, but it's only when you get below like 20 or 30 health on your last energy tank, and by then if you get hit once, you're practically dead anyways, and you have to stand in place and do your missile charge thing. But it takes like 5 seconds, so it's almost like using a flask in a Dark Souls game where you have to time it right, otherwise you're basically automatically dead. But the only other way to recharge your health is a save station, and same save stations will also always refill your missiles, but at any time you can just hold the Wiimote. Let me grab it. You hold the Wiimote instead of, because the game is played like this.
Yes.
It doesn't take the nunchuck, but in order to shoot your missiles, you have to point it at the screen, and you have to hold B to lock it in. Otherwise, you'll turn around. If you don't hold B, you'll turn. But if you hold B, it'll lock it, and you can move the cursor around. You have to lock onto a target, and then you have to hit A to shoot a missile, or hold A to charge up a missile and lock on and release it and to shoot a super missile. But
I don't remember it turning if you hold it still. I just remember it's like with Prime 3. It's the same control, almost the same control scheme.
When you're in first person, it is similar to that, where if you turn, it'll turn, and then you have to hold B to lock it in so you can move the cursor around without turning. So at any time though, you can just hold the Wiimote up and hold A, and it'll recharge your missiles to full. And that only takes like 1 or 2 seconds. But the only time you can recharge your health is when your health is low enough. You can't just recharge your health whenever you want. So those are a couple of small tweaks that I would make that would drastically improve the game. But
I think there should have been more. I think there should have been more exploration, more backtracking. It was extremely linear. Even like it was basically Fusion 2.0. Basically,
It
it was
had a lot of Fusion in it. Some of the bosses, as you mentioned in chat, were ripped right out of Fusion.
like the one that has like the box, the like the weird
Nightmare
box enemy Nightmare with
with
that
the metallic arms.
with the square face.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
Nightmare.
I hated that. I hated that fight. I hated that fight in Fusion. I definitely hated that fight in
So
this one.
I'm currently playing through Fusion again right now. I haven't gotten to Nightmare. I think I'm getting close though. The last thing I did was I've been going through and I've been beating all the bosses to get the achievement for beating it without taking damage. And I've gotten them all so far except for Yakuza, which is the spider, and it just bounces all over the place. So it's very difficult. So I skipped that one. And that one's probably the hardest one in the game, which is why it's worth like double the points of all the other damageless achievements. But yeah, so I'm playing through Fusion right now while I was playing through Other M on stream, and it's like, yeah, this is basically a 3D version of Fusion, but with a lot worse mechanics.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. All right, but yeah, so that's Nerdy Neo's journey.
I'm not. So I didn't finish answering your question though. So after you finally figure out how to freeze those Metroids, you fight the Queen Metroid, which wasn't too bad, except the final part takes you into a cutscene where you grapple beam her mouth and you go inside her, and you basically instantly die in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
and the game doesn't tell you anything. What you're supposed to do is power bomb her from the inside because you're inside her stomach. However,
but you couldn't power bomb. But you said you couldn't power bomb her. It wasn't on the list of, because one thing I hated about Other M.
This is
like
another thing I hated about the game.
You have the abilities. You have the abilities from Super Metroid. Like, you don't. Most Metroid games, you lose the abilities, or you just don't have them for some reason. Like in the case of Prime 3, but Prime 1, you lose you lose your abilities because you get like an EMP shock or something. Here you just wait for Adam's permission to use to activate. I was just like,
pissed me off so much. It's you have all your abilities from the beginning and you have to wait for permission to use them, which is the stupidest thing ever, especially when he's not your boss. You are a freelance bounty hunter and you just both happen to be here at the same time, but because you have a history with him, all of a sudden you're taking orders from him, even though you don't work for him.
Yeah,
that was another thing that pissed me off.
Yeah, and then Samus has PTSD when she sees Ridley for like
made Samus be like this
3, 4, 5, 5, 6 times
damsel in distress, and she's super short because she's supposed to be really tall.
She's 6'3".
She's super short in the game as well.
Yeah,
so many things wrong with this game. But the answer to the last question is: so you're inside the Queen Metroid's stomach, and the only way to beat it is because you take crazy amounts of damage, so you can only survive in her stomach for like 2 or 3 seconds.
What did you have to? What button did you have to do to?
So to do a power bomb, you just press and hold the shoot button. The button you use when you're in morph ball mode to drop bombs. You press and hold it, and the bar charges up, and you release it to do a power bomb. However, as you mentioned, you have all your abilities, but you can't use them until you are told that you get permission to use them. And every time that happens,
how would you know how to use that? Like,
there's no indication at all that you need to use a power bomb. And you go into because then basically every Metroid game, you can go over, you usually pause and go right a screen, and it'll show you all the equipment that you currently have. Certain games you can turn abilities on and off, but other ones you can't. But anyways, it shows you all the abilities you've acquired. In your bomb slot, it says Morph Ball and Morph Ball Bomb. It does not say Power Bomb. So according to your own inventory screen, you do not have this ability yet. And every single time you unlock a new ability, which is getting permission to use it, it basically pauses the game, goes to your inventory screen, and pops it up. It's like, and shows you, oh, you have super missiles now. You have Morph Ball Bomb. This one did not do that until after the boss fight. After I'd already beaten it, it did not tell me that I had the ability to do power bombs.
Yeah,
until after I needed it. Every other ability in the game, it tells you right when you need it. Here's the ability. Now you can use it. It did not do that for power bomb, and you're in the middle of a boss fight, and there's no indication of how to beat it.
Sounds like classic. Sounds yeah. Maybe you should do like your own angry video game nerd type of
I
other
could do
reaction.
a whole video
Maybe you
essay on
should like
why
maybe you
Other
should
M
take maybe you
pissed me
should take
off.
maybe you should just take the disc and poop on it like
I'm not
AVGN
going to do
does.
that because, as you mentioned, I only got 35% of the items collected because I was just going for story completion. I am going to be playing it again because, as of last week or a little over a week ago,
I bullied him into playing the second part. You fighting Fatoon at the end.
Oh yes, you did. No, I would have done it anyways.
Like you get the credits, but then then it takes you right back to the game. You're like, what was the point of this? Why couldn't you just why
Exactly.
game? Why did you?
So
why?
Okay, there just a second. But it was just announced that Wii is finally getting retro achievement support, so I will be playing it again for retro achievements, and I will be getting the 100% items collected achievement. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm going to do it because it's Metroid. So I will be playing it again, and that's when I'm going to get 100%. I'm not going to be doing that on stream, though. But anyways, you asked me if I'd fought Fantoon yet, and I'm like, I don't know what boss this is. I had to look it up, and I'm like, no, I have not fought this boss yet. And it was
shows he's not a true Metroid fan. He doesn't even remember who Fantoon is.
You
play Super Metroid. Jesus Christ.
Well, I've said that when I did Super Metroid earlier this year, I think it was only the 4th time I played it, and none of the bosses ever have any actual names in the game. So I know Ridley and Kraid because they're in like basically like every Metroid game, but all the other bosses like don't ever show up again.
In 3 games. He was in Metroid, Super Metroid, and Dread. So sorry,
but these other bosses that only show up in Super Metroid, there's nothing that ever says their name. So how exactly would you know their name? It's just
you just do. You just know their name. I mean,
it's like Wicket and Empire or Return of the Jedi. No one ever says it. It's just like they never say Ewoks, but everyone knows their name. They're called Ewoks. Same thing, but it's like, how would you know this? I'm not as big of a Super Metroid fan as you, so I didn't know what Fantoon was. But anyways, you beat the game, it goes to credits, and then there's this epilogue section, which I didn't know about until Brian told me before he had to leave the stream. And this epilogue section was like another half an hour, and I'm like, oh my god, can this game just be over already?
That's it. That was just a half an hour. No way.
It's just
maybe it's because I was trying to beat as much of it as I could, probably. Whereas I'm
just guessing on that's how long it took. I could go back and look at the stream and see when I hit the end of credits and when I hit
I guess when you get angry and you get very, if when you're full of rage, like I think time. I think time just
it could have been longer. That
time flows differently when you're rage bound, basically.
But I got really close to dying, and I would have been really mad. But I did beat it first try, and then finally the game was over. So I was so ready for the game to be done. I really don't like Other M, and it sounds like Ernest Nosferatu pop up in chat. I'm assuming he likes Other M since he seems to be. Has me fuming. He's unsubbing and reporting. I don't know how you could be a fan of Other M.
He totally likes Other M. Nerdy Neo or Mr. Neo. He totally likes Other M.
Okay, I was like,
and by the way, I am really a judge. That's why he calls me Judge Portal, because I'm actually a judge. I don't resemble a villain from the Blood Meridian book.
I don't know what that is.
I'm a real judge, and he does like. I'll say, I'm gonna put this up. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but where's let's look. Ernest Ferratu. Where is his beautiful chat?
I didn't suck at dodge parry mechanics. It's that's the only way to defeat the Metroids, and there's no indication that you even can beat them, and that's the only way to do it. So I don't want to hear your good crap. I beat the game.
Right. This is a beautiful thing. So we're pissing him off. I need both of your opinions on Xenogears. So I think Xenogears is an unfinished masterpiece. Better than all the Xenoblade games. And great story. It's just a shame that they ran out of budget. And Nerdy Neo hates RPGs and turn-based RPGs,
JRPGs,
and good games. So
all I know about Xenogears
you're gonna absolutely hate them.
Are the Pyra and Mithra from Smash Ultimate. That's all I know about Xenogears. I don't even know if that's Xenogears or Xeno Saga or what. Xenoblade.
probably.
I don't even know which one they're from. I just know they're from a Xeno something. So sorry if that pisses you off, Ernest, but I know nothing about the Xeno franchise.
Xenogears is great, but that's he is. He's totally trolling you, buddy. He's totally trolling you. I would never do that. We're friends. We're like this.
But Canadian, I agree on something else. Yeah, yes, as a proper woman, waiting for the man to decide how they behave in combat. Exactly. Talking about when I was ranting about Samus having to wait for permission.
Who said that?
Canadian did.
Oh no! Don't repeat that misogyny. Jeez, man, what are you doing? You trying to get me? You trying to get me canceled? What the hell?
Brian, no, Brian can. No one can autistically remember all the names of enemies across multiple series.
Hey, how dare you read the comments? Don't read the comments. It's we're the conversation.
You're the
we're
host.
the conversation. We're the conversation. So, but all right. So, moral of the story is, Nerdy Neo loves Metroid Other M. Definitely watch his stream. You will get a lot of value out of it. I just didn't have time to clip all those minutes and minutes of rage. He's raging Neo for a reason. So
you just got all the ranting I did on my stream. You got it right now on why I disliked Other M.
So Prime 4, going back to Prime 4, the desert I think is just a hub, kind of like Hyrule Field. Do you agree? In Ocarina.
Yeah, we were talking about that as well.
Yeah, Deku Tree. I used to say Deku Tree.
Yeah, you say
I say
Deku,
Ocarina, then I said Ocarina, but it's actually Ocarina.
But it doesn't matter what anyone says. I will never ever be convinced otherwise that it is not pronounced Ocarina. But I've always said Deku Tree. You said Deku Tree. I've always just said it because that's the way my friend that got me into Zelda said it. But you were saying in chat that being Japanese, it's probably Deku. So I'm going to adopt that. And that's what I'm going to start using because that actually sounds the most accurate.
Yeah. And I used to say Shika. I used to say Shika, but then I thought it was Shika and Sheik.
I've always said Sheik and Shika.
Or Shaka. Maybe it's Shaka.
That could be.
Shaka.
Sorry. But yeah, none of that Zelda stuff has ever been, given, as far as I know, hasn't been given official pronunciation. So Gerudo, is it a hard G?
No, I used to say Gerudo too, but apparently that's
what I always said because my friend got me into it.
It's gay Rudo. So Rudo and was Rudo, the Zora princess. They named it after her. Okay, I'm not going there. Fuck it. I'm not going there. Gay Rudo.
Yeah, my friend that got me into Zelda called it Gerudo, so I've always called it Gerudo. But given that it's
Gerudo just sounds much better.
And he's from the tribe, I would assume that it's also a hard G, and it probably is Gerudo. It's just that sounds weird to me.
It's gay Rudo. Yeah.
Anyways,
it's gay.
I have a feeling you're probably right about the whole desert being a Hyrule Field sort of thing. It's just
it can't be open world. It just can't.
One of the key elements of Metroidvanias is a small, enclosed but interconnected map, and having big open areas takes away from what a Metroidvania is. I mean, that's why a motorcycle, as cool as it is, doesn't fit in the game.
Even if there's an opening, there's still borders, you had the area was sort of expansive, and when you're in Phendrana, when you first enter Phendrana, the Phendrana drifts in the first Prime game, there's that big area. You have the lake in the middle, and you have
it's still pretty small.
The Chozo Temple, and then you have you have the caverns leading towards the Space Pirate Lab. That was pretty open, but like you said, even that was more contained. I mean, it was still
that's just a large room, enclosed. Not a huge expansive area.
It was outside, but it was still enclosed by by high ground and all that. The thing that Obi-Wan used to beat Anakin, the high ground.
Yeah. There's some larger rooms.
There's
some larger rooms in some of the Metroid games, but they're still relatively small. It's not a big, large, expansive open space.
Yeah, and in order to get to other parts get to other parts, you use either the elevator or, in the case of Prime 3, the ship.
Yeah.
So in this case, I mean, maybe it's only in the past that we use this motorcycle. And I'm assuming this motorcycle is also part of the suit, this suit upgrade or something. So
yeah, like
that's why the the red suit and the slightly red motorcycle
the
with the
suit
purple.
looks awesome, and the motorcycle looks awesome. But I think the most a vehicle should have in a Metroid game is basically like the ship in Prime 3, where you command it to do things and you use it to solve puzzles, but you use it to only to get from one place to another in a cutscene. It's not like you're flying around in space doing dogfights. That wouldn't belong in a Metroid game unless it was a spin-off like Federation Force.
Yeah.
And you did like like Rogue Squadron Metroid, something like, then that would be okay. Because that's like separate. It's not one of the mainline games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you there.
So I'm still playing it, and I'm planning to get it on day one. It's just it does take a little bit of my anticipation out of the game.
Yeah, I was betting with our mutual friend who may not be Canadian. I was worried that the game would be delayed to 2026. So I was
the game would be delayed. It's been delayed like a decade.
I was totally wrong. I was totally wrong there. So it's coming out in December.
I think I made a gentleman's agreement bet with someone as well on whether it would come out this year or next year. And I don't remember who it was, and I don't remember what I said on whether it would be this year or next year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm surprised. So after 8.5 years, the game's finally coming. And well, I'm hoping it's good. I like Prime 3. I liked I had issues with Prime 2, but when Prime Trilogy came out, a lot of the issues I had with Prime 2 were pretty much gone.
Okay.
So Prime 2 was solid, and First Prime is still my favorite of the three.
I'm curious what your because like I love Prime 1 and 2 pretty equally, but I have to put Prime 1 like when I did my first episode of Top 5 ranking Top 5 favorite Metroidvanias, I had to put Metroid Prime 1 over Prime 2 just because I have a couple of nitpicks with 2 that I don't have with 1, but I still love them pretty much equally. So, but that would I haven't played the the Metroid Prime trilogy, so I don't know what or if they changed anything other than the motion controls. So running
out of ammo is not really a thing. They kind of solved that issue, especially when you're in a room. Yeah. So if you're in a room and you need like the dark beam or the light beam, if you run out of ammo, like it'll respawn ammo for you, so you can get out of the room.
Well, because in the original, if you did run out of ammo, you wouldn't be able to tap the button, but you could still charge it up to shoot one shot if you needed to get through a door or something.
Yeah. And then of course at the end of the game when you fight the Emperor Ing and then you fight Dark Samus. If Dark Samus kills you like Dark Samus killed me the first time, I had to start the whole thing over again. You just have to fight Dark Samus. You just have to restart the fight with Dark Samus. You don't have to
because normally you have to go fight the Ing Emperor and then fight Dark Samus again. So in the Wii version, if you die, you only have to fight Dark Samus again.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. When I did Prime 2 on stream, I did beat Dark Samus on the first try, but it was like I had like 15 seconds left on the timer, and I had like I don't know, like 30 health left, so I was almost dead. And I was playing on hard though. But that's good to know, because most of my nitpicks were I don't think they would have changed it because it's like baked into the game design. So I don't think the Wii Prime Trilogy version would have made any changes to my nitpicks, but they're very minor. But that's why I had to put Metroid Prime 1 over 2, even though I love them pretty much equally, until Prime Remastered came out. It looks a lot nicer, so that's a bonus, but it could literally be the exact same game as the GameCube version. Everything exact same, with the only difference being the modern controls and not the tank controls. And that by itself would pole vault it past Metroid Prime 2 for my favorite Metroid. So Metroid Prime Remastered is my favorite Metroid.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, I have to complete that game, Prime Remastered. But yeah, I love Prime. Um, I really, I got my Wii U working again so I could play Prime 2 and Prime 3 because I mean, I'm curious if those are ever going to come out.
Oh, like a
It's
Prime
been,
2 and 3 remastered?
yeah,
I
because
really
Prime 1 Remastered came out 2 years ago now. So
Has it been that long?
yeah, it's been that long. So yeah,
I will give it
should have
this.
beaten it by now.
When they first announced Prime Remastered, I was like, $40? Are you serious? But I think it was warranted.
Well,
After
now
playing it.
I don't know if you saw. I mean, I know you hate Super Mario, but like they're re-releasing Mario Galaxy 1 and 2,
I
and they're
did see that.
$70 for both of them,
That's
or 80 or
ridiculous.
40 each if you buy them individually. And those
And
games,
when did those games come out?
first game came out in 2007. It came out 3 months after Prime 3, and then Galaxy 2 came out in May of 2010.
Yeah, so
So
Galaxy's almost a
15
20-year-old
years,
game.
yeah, like
18 years.
little kids who were little then are already adults. That's how crazy. That's how crazy it is.
You'll like this though, because you know how I don't hate Mario. It's just it's not very high on my list of franchises.
He hates it.
But given that, as I mentioned, Wii is getting retro achievements, I'm finally going to give Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 a play, which I've never played them before.
They're really fun to play.
After I don't worry, Canadian, I will be playing Sunshine first because I have not played that yet either, but I will be playing that before.
Sunshine's gonna kick your ass.
I do plan to get through Sunshine before the end of the year, hopefully. But I absolutely will not play Galaxy 1 or 2 until after I've beaten Sunshine. I will tell you that.
100%.
Bro, you cried about it. I didn't cry. I just thought it was ridiculous that they're charging $40 for what looked like a slight resolution upgrade. Then I played it, and I was like, okay, that's warranted. But you know how frugal I am. I rarely buy a game if it's more than like $10.
Yeah, Grandmaster Galaxy's not until 2, buddy. That's not until the very end of 2. He's got a long way to go before that. He's got to play the first game first, and then before that, Sunshine. So I was asking, are you going to try 100% Sunshine? Because I still to this day have not.
The plan.
I have not 100% Sunshine.
I will try to get all the achievements as well, but obviously, Wii doesn't get achievement support until March of next year, so it'll still be a while till we get to see what the achievement list is. But the plan is to get all the achievements. So, both in Sunshine, and I'm going to play Eclipse as well, which is, from what I hear, is the definitive way to play Sunshine. It's like it's a ROM hack that makes a lot of quality of life improvements. So I'm going to play Eclipse as well, and so I can. I've asked Canadian because I know he's a huge fan of Sunshine. I'm like, hey, do you know the difference between? He's like, I know of Eclipse, but I haven't played it. So I'm going to play them both so I can know for myself all the changes and what's better about one versus the other. So I plan to get all the achievements, but will I actually do that once I get to it? We'll see.
Yeah, I haven't. I'll have to figure out how to. I have to remember how to make a ROM hack for those type of games for Sunshine, or is that Sunshine? Eclipse is a Sunshine.
Eclipse is a ROM hack for Sunshine. Yeah.
Okay, I've only done them for like Super Nintendo.
I haven't played a lot of them, but since I've been getting into retro achievements, there's a lot of ROM hacks that have their own achievement sets. So I've been really getting into them, and I have like literally like 150 of them on my retro. I'm looking for playing at some point.
I got obsessed with ROM hacks. I don't know if I've mentioned why, but like I have the I don't know if it still works because I haven't turned it on in a while. The SNES Mini, the Super NES Mini. And so I obviously I hacked into it, added games to it. Yar.
Nice.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And I was interested in like taking games that were, mainly Japanese and, attaching like, translations. So like some of the Dragon Quest games.
There are a lot of
a lot of the Enix, especially a lot of the Enix games that did not have, there was no Enix of America. So a lot of those games only came out in Japan. So I wanted to do that, but then I found out that I went to there's this website, I forgot the name of the website, but they had all these ROM hacks. I didn't know what a ROM hack was, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can I can play a new version of Super Mario World.
A
And
whole
then
new
I got
world.
obsessed with recreating my childhood, like getting up early on a Saturday morning. This is when I was living in Iowa, getting up on a Saturday morning, going to McDonald's, getting myself a McDonald's breakfast, even though they're shit now. I could not eat that anymore. But
I don't. You
I
have to
was
pay me
younger.
to eat
This
McDonald's.
was
I haven't been there in
younger. This was
decades.
late 20s Nurporial.
I literally haven't eaten
And then
McDonald's since I
playing
was a kid.
and then coming back and then playing a harder version of Super Mario World called Return to Dinosaur Land. So
You just told me about that on one of my
yeah,
streams recently, and
I actually streamed. That was one of the
I
earliest things that I streamed
don't know if you can see
on my
it, but
channel.
it's right there. I got the ROM hack running because I didn't even know about it until you told me about it, and it has a retro achievement set. And I discovered another ROM hack for Super Mario World called Return. Oh, sorry, the one I do have Return to Dinosaur Island. It's the one right below it. Another one called Super Mario World 30th Anniversary Edition. I've got it running. I haven't played it yet, but I've got so many hacks that I'm looking forward to playing. Most of them are Mega Man and Metroid, though.
Yeah. So okay, Nerdy Neo. All right, I need you to attend. So Ernest Ferratu is asking AC to ask Judge Porio if he loves me. Ernest Ferratu, I love you. You're supposed to say you got to do better than that, Nerdy Neo.
Oh, sorry. You got to do better
You got to
than
pretend you're
that.
Johnny from Home Alone 2. You got to do better than that.
Okay. I'm assuming this is a reference to something. Either I
Home
don't
Alone
get it.
2.
I saw it once when I was.
It's when he's playing. It's when Tim Curry. Tim Curry plays like the maitre d at the hotel at the hotel that's owned by a certain Trump who shows up in that movie. He's playing the angels with even filthier souls, and like, who is it? Get on your knees and tell me you love me, or because my Tommy gun won't. So they're like, I love you.
I saw Home Alone 1 and 2 like once when I was like, I don't know, like 7, and I haven't seen them since. So sorry, it went over my head.
What do you? I should change this. Nerdy Neo hates Christmas movies too.
I don't hate Christmas movies.
If you hate Home Alone, you hate.
I never said I hate it. I just said I haven't watched it since I was a kid.
Metroid
I like Home
games,
Alone.
He hates Prime 4. He hates Other M. He hates Super Mario. He hates RPGs.
I didn't say I hate Super Mario or. Okay, the Other M hate is warranted, although I wouldn't say I hate it. I would just say I strongly disliked it.
That was if that wasn't rage yesterday, I don't know what is. So, all right, but yeah, Nas, I love you. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to say that. Now, if I said it to Nerdy Neo would be like, or no, if I said it to AC, not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. So
I haven't actually even seen that show. I just know I've seen the GIF of it many, many times. I'm pretty sure that was from Community.
Home Alone 2 is a movie.
No, I'm talking about Community. The clip where Ken Jeong is in the chair in the classroom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I haven't gotten that far. There was a good episode about Community about Carpe Diem. It's like, oh, I don't have to do assignment. Well, you have to prove to me that you're seizing the day. And he's like, well, I'm seizing it. I don't believe you. That was a new teacher. I thought that was actually a good one. That was one that got me to laugh. So
I saw 2 episodes because of my roommate back in the day, and we watched the paintball episode and the episode that Chevy Chase's character died.
You're kidding. His character dies in that show.
Well, I think that's what happened.
If you know anything about Chevy Chase, he's known to be like really difficult actor to work with. So everybody freaking hated him. So I'm guessing the showrunner of Community ultimately hated him. It's like they got rid of him when things got bad.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that it does. Oh, sorry. But yeah, I've only watched a few episodes. Same with me and AC. I started watching you ever see Psych?
I've never seen Psych. I'm sure I would like it if I did watch it though.
Yeah. Yeah, AC got me watching that. I watched a little bit of that before I went to Japan, and the dynamic of those two characters is kind of like the dynamic of me and him when we met up eventually. I'm the more goofy. I'm the more goofy type, and AC's the more serious. AC's the more serious type.
That
That just
tracks.
gets annoyed. That's him for the
That
most
sounds
part.
about right.
So, but yeah, so we're about 100 minutes in, and I'm pretty tired, and I have another Choporio on Friday. I have to finish Winter's Heart, which is book 9, and
Is that a Brian Sanderson book?
no, it's still Robert Jordan.
I don't even know
there's
that
only
name.
after book 9, there's only 2 more Robert Jordan books, and then Sanderson does the last 3. So
Oh, okay.
9 out of 14. So I'm
Sanderson's
getting
like the
closer
only
again.
name I know in the fantasy genre.
Yeah. So yeah, Robert Jordan was the author, and he passed away before he could finish. And everybody's freaking
Okay.
out about a certain other fantasy author who
Certain
George R. R. Martin.
GRRM.
Yeah, who likes to compare himself to Tolkien, even though he's like nowhere near Tolkien.
Have you seen the Tolkien versus him epic rap battle of history?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, yeah,
I love it. It's great.
yeah,
You're a pirate. You even stole my RR.
yeah. He did. He totally does. So, all right, but yeah, thanks, buddy, for doing part 2. So,
Yeah,
what's to
absolutely.
hold us up for what's to tie us into part 3? Like, are you going to reveal a dark secret? Like, is AC truly your brother's mother's boyfriend or something?
Well, I don't have a brother because I'm an only child, so that wouldn't be possible. At least not that I
That
know
not
of.
that you know of, not that.
um, but I mean, I'm always happy to come on and talk about pretty much anything video game related. Metroidvania is my area of speciality, but I'm happy to talk about anything else that I play.
Finish
Just
Stargate, start watching Babylon 5. We can talk a little bit about that, maybe.
Yes. You know what? Let me pull it up here because I finished SG1 not that long ago, and then I finished Atlantis, and I'm on Universe Season 2, Episode 8, and there are a total of 20 episodes. So I will be done with all of Stargate within the next couple weeks, and then I will start Babylon 5.
All right. There's a few good ones. There's one character. There's 2 characters I really like that make up. I mean, they're not in every episode, but the character Londo Mollari and Jakar. Those 2 characters are to me what make the show awesome.
Jakar, that's a cool name. Is that I'm assuming that's not a human character.
Yeah, neither of them are human characters.
Okay, they're non-humans. All right.
Jakar looks more reptilian, and Londo looks more like I mean, they base like old like Fred, like he's like an alien. Like it's his race is basically based off of the French. There's a lot of what do you call it, intrigue and military aggression from that race. So much a gray character, like a very gray character compared to even Deep Space Star Trek Deep Space Nine characters. So yeah. So, but yeah, his story is really good, and there are points where you do jump across time. There is time travel, and there's points where you see like the future, and it gets very interesting. You're like, what's going to happen? What's going on here? How deep is the story going to be? And then you have unlike Star Trek, Babylon 5 actually is not afraid to show like religion, especially religion surviving into outer space. Like what would happen, with Christianity or Judaism, like what would they be doing in space? Obviously
there were space Normans in
Christianity. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. I forgot about that. So yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I think Expanse was the first time I kind of saw that blending of science and religion in a futuristic space setting.
Yeah, I still have not finished
in a show at least.
I didn't watch the last 2 episodes. I didn't like how season 5 ended, and I didn't like how season 6 Like they just rushed season 6. There's only 6 episodes. And that was it.
I don't remember the ending of the show that well, but one thing
I don't
that
remember
really
either. I don't think it paid off.
And they
didn't finish the series. There's still 3 books, but there was a time jump in the last 3 books. So
I don't know anything about the books, but the one thing that kind of really irked me was just spontaneously removing the character. I think the character's name was Alex. They killed him off just like randomly. Yeah, it's like, wait, what?
Because of Me Too.
Yeah, because of behind the scenes allegations, nothing proven.
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Whatever. All right. So
anyway, but yeah, I'll let you know after I've gotten through some Babylon 5, and then we can come back and we can talk about Babylon 5 next time.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So what's next? What's going on? What do you got going on next?
So the only other thing this week is tomorrow night is the next episode of Top 5, and we are going to be ranking our top 5 favorite first games in a franchise. And then I don't know if I'm going to be doing a Metroidvania Monday or not next Monday because I haven't done a Mass Effect Monday in a while. So I'm absolutely going to be doing a Mass Effect Monday. I may also do a Metroidvania Monday. We'll see. But now that I've gotten through all the Metroid games, the next game I'm playing is the first non-Metroid game I'm playing for Metroidvania Monday, and it's been one that I've been very much looking forward to playing, and also has a
Silk Song.
No, not time. I just blanked. Time travel. Oh my god! I can't believe I just blanked on the term time travel so many times. But it has a time travel mechanic, and it looks amazing. I played the demo. I loved it. I cannot wait to play it. I've heard nothing but good things from everyone who's actually played it. That is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Oh, okay. All right.
I loved the demo. Everyone who I've talked to that has played it has loved it. I'm very much looking for playing that. So that's the next game I'm playing on Metroidvania Monday. Whether it's this Monday or the next Monday, it's one of the two. So I'm very much looking forward to getting into that. So I'll be doing that on stream. And then my next episode of Party Chat will be on Tuesday.
Nice. I'll have to check out the Prince of Persia. I've seen Prophet play a little bit of it. I'm
not in a rush to play Silksong because I am not a fan of Hollow Knight. I finally got through it in its entirety just earlier this year, and it took me like 3 times because I kept playing it for like 6 hours and hating every second of it. So I had to force myself to play because how much everyone rants and raves about how great this game was. After I finally forced myself to play through it in its entirety, it did come up after I got like, 20 hours in. I stopped hating every second of it and I started enjoying it somewhat. It's still nowhere near my top echelon of Metroidvanias. So I'm not in any. I will play Silksong, but I'm not in any rush because I didn't care for Hollow Knight very much.
Oh, okay, probably.
And it has nothing to do with the difficulty. It has to do with the design.
It's too dark for Neo. That's what I'm thinking.
It just has to do with a lot of all the design decisions. It is a dark game. I could go on another other M type rant about why I disliked Hollow Knight, but I'm not going to get into that. So
yeah, I'll probably replay Hollow Knight. It's a long game. It
took me about 65 hours to 112%.
It's much longer than I thought it was. So,
and I still have like 5 or 6 achievements left in it, which I will likely never get all of them because they are insanely difficult.
Yeah,
beat the game without dying and get 100%. Not going to happen.
All right. Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on again, so I could rant about other M.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just very topical since I just played it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I brought it up. But yeah, like I said, next Chilporial will be on Friday. I'll be talking Winter's Heart. Probably some other 70s and 80s topics, maybe continue some political talk. I'm going to be on with Ozzy, who is part of the White Cloaks Band of the Red Hand server. So I get to it'll be fun. I've been on stream with him before, so it'll be a good one. Won't be video games, so basically everyone who's in the chat now is probably not going to be here for that one. So, Yeah, next couple of streams I'm doing are going to be Wheel of Time related. So,
Oh, that was a great show.
what? What?
The Wheel of Time show.
Oh, that show. That show is
I've
gone.
never seen it. I just know how
That
much you
show
guys
is
hate
gone, baby. That show's gone. So,
it. So, Wheel of Time show to you is Halo show to me. It does not exist.
more or less, yeah. I think it's worse than the Halo show.
Probably.
Like, I think it's worse than Rings of Power.
Ooh, that says a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah. So Wheel of Time stuff for the next couple streams. After that, Chilporial is up in the air. I have to find a new guest. My guest Roman couldn't make it, so I have to look for another guest for next week. So we'll have to see what happens. I think I might have a few people who I might continue the video gaming with politics and all that. So, but once again, everybody, violence is not the answer. No matter how right you feel about it, the only way to, because I mean, when it comes to violence, to quote a meathead, this will only get you this, and he's right. The only way to keep that from happening is to have dialogue. Now, I know it takes two to tango, and if the other person's not interested in dialogue and is quick to violence, stay the fuck away from them. Don't have anything to do with those type of people. All right. Stay safe, everybody. Stay vigilant. And what did I used to say? Stay incorporeal. Yeah, stay incorporeal, everybody. Yep. And if you haven't hit the like button, and oh yeah, I forgot. I have 5,000 subs now, so maybe I should maybe I have to do a celebration stream. I haven't really done anything like that. I should make a video. I'm gonna have to make a video. Keep saying I have to make a video. I'll make a video. So, all right, everybody, take care. Have a good night. And
good night.
And Adam, I love you too.